This is like the most real SCP I've ever seen. Generic Control and the Doc Goes Moo here, back with an SCP reaction. Today we're doing SCP-2901, which is Mothman, which I believe there's actually a statue of Mothman in, I believe the comments in the last video said, was it Point Pleasant or Mount Pleasant or something like that in West Virginia, I want to say. I know it's in West Virginia because my cousin actually took a slight detour there one time when he was driving through from Michigan, and he stopped in not Point Pleasant or Mount Pleasant, whatever it's called, and took a picture of the Mothman statue, I believe, and sent it to me. So I was asking for Appalachian Mountain SCPs, and this, not a deer, and this one was suggested in the comment section last video, which I believe was SCP-2199, which was like the chicken human thing. You can check out my reaction to that, leave it right up there. Also, link down below in the description. Also, in a post on my channel, all my other SCP reactions. Go to Chronological Order if you want to binge watch to all of those. We're gonna do Mothman, which, I mean, it's based off of that, unless it's gonna be the same thing as, you know, the mythical Appalachian Mountain Mothman deal. I'm not really sure. I'm not very familiar with Mothman. I just know that there's a statue of him in West Virginia. So this is going to be an interesting video. It's by TheVolgun, of course. Shout out to the patrons. I would be able to do this if it was not for them. I really would not be able to do this without them because this is the worst January I have ever seen. It is really bad, but I'm still reading our comments. Leave them down below whether you're a patron or whether you're subscribed or not. We also just hit 101,000 subscribers, which is a crazy milestone, but I'm excited to learn more about Mothman, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright. Mothman. I wanted Appalachian Mountain SCPs, and I know about Mothman. My cousin literally took a picture of the Mothman statue.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-2901.
Mothman.
Object Class, Euclid.
Mothman.
Special Containment Procedures.
No steam coming off the coffee.
Extra-dimensional properties related to SCP-2901, there are currently no methods of physical containment.
Oh, cool.
Case reports involving SCP-2901 will be remitted to Mobile Task Force 5-5, Twilighters, for further investigation.
Also, I feel like the quality of this video is not
sightings
high.
of SCP-2901 will be suppressed using amnestic field applications. Media leaks regarding SCP-2901 will be deleted or discredited by the Information Detraction, Censorship, and Rescission Division. ID card. Field personnel should avoid SCP-2901 if at all possible. Those authorized to investigate SCP-2901 must carry mobile devices capable of short message services, SMS, in case of sudden acoustic cancellation. If a hostile encounter is unavoidable, personnel should adhere to the following steps. Number 1. Do not attempt to run.
And Kirby's on the way here to record more videos.
To give chase.
Oh boy.
Number 2, hold your ground. Be sure to make eye contact. Number 3, make a threat display, using clothing to imitate an increase in body mass.
Oh, okay, like a bear.
Number 4, continue step 3 until SCP-2901 becomes disinterested and submits. Number 5, avoid physical contact if at all possible. Wield or throw objects to maintain distance.
Oh, okay. But can it fly?
SCP-2901 are a species of nocturnal carnivorous scavengers of limited intelligence, averaging 1.7 meters in height.
Pretty tall.
SCP-2901 usually appear as having an ellipsoid shape and possess 2 large eyes layered with photophoric tissue. SCP-2901 are covered in a layer of minute iridescent lamellar scales similar to lepidopterans. SCP-2901 are able to move through space-time freely, granting them certain abilities such as levitation, flight, and teleportation. SCP-2901 are, however, tangible and susceptible to conventional firearms.
That's all I need to know.
SCP-2901 are also able to emit an acoustic cancellation effect within a radius of approximately 25 meters. The purpose or function of this ability is not wholly understood, but it is theorized to aid in stealth.
What's a meter?
Several methods of containment and/or deterrence are still being considered. However, because of the elusiveness of SCP-2901, a large majority of the general public are aware of related incidents and possibly even the existence of SCP-2901.
Yeah, we made a statue about it.
Are in place as a temporary solution for protecting information on SCP-2901.
Level 2 access required.
Oh boy.
ID card.
But also, it can teleport, levitate,
and rescission division.
and
ID
go through time and space.
Foundation.internet. X 7502. Fax
A
7503.
Oof.
Operation. Surgeon's photograph.
Huh?
Priority. Dalek. Internal use only.
Yeah, well.
Preamble. Due to the uncontainable nature and general notoriety of SCP-2901, certain protocols must be established in order to quell civilian suspicion as to the existence of these entities.
Meanwhile, West
The
Virginia,
following is
we're
an
gonna make a
outline of
statue.
Operation Surgeon's photograph that should be reviewed by your respective teams. Counterintelligence. Due to the nature of Operation Surgeon's photograph, information regarding SCP-2901 does not require additional safeguards against espionage. Information about SCP-2901 will remain accessible on the Foundation main list database. Standard protocols for sensitive information, access clearance, and storage still apply. Identification of sensitive material. Utilizing the automated virtual agents already in place, the certain keywords related to SCP-2901 will be routinely searched and red flagged on the daily reports.
I do like that they were just
Pages
like,
will
hey,
be
the general
reviewed
public
by
knows about
selected
this.
teams as they are discovered
'Cause in
and
real life-
related to the tactical planning team to determine the severity and next course of action. Disinformation campaign. The tactical planning team will review suspected files or pages and make decisions and recommendations regarding pertinent threats. Dozens of online dummy accounts for media sharing websites are to be created and managed by ID Card's special cyberspace unit. Using these dummy accounts, content regarding the presence and/or glorification of SCP-2901
glorification?
will be made widely
What?
available. This is to saturate any shared leaked footage or images with fabricated disinforming content. Content will be developed and published in a variety of mediums related to SCP-2901, including fictional stories, doctored photographic images, visual semi-realistic art, falsified eyewitness
This is like the most
and
real
merchandise.
SCP I've ever
Foundation
seen.
front company Studio City Productions will be contracted to create several low-budget documentaries involving SCP-2901 while including other well-known cryptids from folklore. This will further aid in convincing the general public that the existence of SCP-2901 is highly questionable and in all likelihood impossible to validate.
Well, I wonder if there was an SCP
Required
for Loch Ness
deletions.
Monster.
Any source material of SCP-2901 deemed too sensitive to be accessible to civilians will also be addressed by the Special Cyberspace Unit. Standard protocols for denial of service operations will be carried out to isolate the source. After the source is isolated, efforts will be made to erase the original content. Any information regarding the original poster of the material will then be handed over to Mobile Task Force 55 for further investigation.
Twilighters?
In all cases, services will be restored once the material has been erased. Any denial of service operations in excess of 24 hours will need to be reported to the Department of External Affairs. Cessation of operations. Operation Surgeon's photograph will continue until a viable method of containment or deterrent for SCP-2901 is in place. Virtual agents will continue to search for keywords related to SCP-2901. These will be included on the month-end reports to be reconciled at the end of the quarter. Content made during Operation Surgeon's photograph will remain accessible. The first official documented incursion of SCP-2901 was near the town of
West Virginia. Yeah, which
USA in 19.
Is it Point Pleasant or Mount Pleasant or?
Since then, continuing field observations have concluded that SCP-2901 are
Point
an
Pleasant is a
aggressively
place in New Jersey
territorial and
that I went to.
solitary species. SCP-2901
Well, I think Mount Pleasant's also a
do
place.
not engage or reveal themselves openly to humans and will often retreat or vanish if discovered.
You just need lamp.
Further observations suggest that SCP-2901 are able to approximate the time and location of future disasters with a certain degree of accuracy, particularly those resulting in multiple fatalities.
Why is there a
This is
4 after
supported
that?
by
What?
accounts and reports showing a sudden presence of SCP-2901 within the vicinity of the disaster area, usually within a month or week before it occurs. During this period, many SCP-2901
so it shows up before disasters? It's like Absol?
the area, resulting in altercations with other SCP-2901, sometimes including human bystanders
multiple
being
Mothman?
mistaken as threats.
Mothman?
During these aggressive
Mothwoman.
territorial behaviors, SCP-2901 are able to change their physical shape into a large nebulous-like body as a threat display. After the disaster event occurs, the remaining SCP-2901 will take part in feeding off the deceased in a frenzy-like behavior until the food source is depleted, vacating once satiated.
Neat.
Level 4 access required. ID card. Information detraction, censorship, and rescission division. ID card at scpfoundation.internet. X7502.
Fax machine.
Fax 7503. Confidential. Priority. Gimmel.
Directive. Operation Surgeon's photograph is to be considered the special containment procedures for SCP-2901 and is to operate under the guise of an active public disinformation campaign. Mobile Task Force 5-5 will be responsible for its continuation and level of effectivity in maintaining acceptable levels of public awareness and conception.
I just love they accept
As a
that.
point of clarification, the purpose of Operation Surgeon's photograph is not to protect information on SCP-2901, but rather control information on SCP-2901. Summary. SCP-2901's current evolution is the sum of Foundation's efforts in manipulating its existence through public perception. SCP-2901 are a group of extra-dimensional entities that lack a stable, cohesive form and purpose that only coalesces through continued observational reconciliation. For SCP-2901 to maintain a stable physical mass, approximately 75% of the nearby human populace within 500 kilometers
What's a
need to
kilometer?
be congruent on a singular concept of what SCP-2901 is and what it does.
I mean,
SCP-2901
just
was
goes
first
towards
discovered
light.
and categorized as highly unstable Keta-class entities capable of producing localized CK-class scenarios at random. Further research into SCP-2901's unstable manifestation proved to be futile, as unbeknownst to Foundation scientists at the time, SCP-2901 would involuntarily change during each subsequent observation. During a containment breach into the civilian-populated areas within the Appalachian region of the southern United States,
it's Appalachian.
SCP-2901 began gradually condensing into a singular manifestation the more it was exposed to humans.
Oh.
Civilians began conceding to the idea that SCP-2901 was a dark-winged-like humanoid with large red eyes,
And that's what it
which
turned
corresponded
into.
to the
Yep.
pre-existing local folklore.
Yeah.
SCP-2901 also began to evolve predatory-like behaviors.
So it
and
became
anomalous
the
acoustic
myth.
effects that conceptualized due to the mass fear generated within the surrounding communities. Foundation researchers recognized the effects and began isolating SCP-2901 as much as possible. However, deprived of regular perceptual input, SCP-2901 began to devolve into its initial highly unstable manifestations once again.
Oh, that's
The
not good.
decision was made to maintain SCP-2901 in a functioning, manageable state through continued exposure to human perceptual belief that SCP-2901 is a tangible creature of local folklore, another Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster.
I'm never beating the pre-watch
Nearby Silver
allegations.
Bridge
Are
collapse
you
of
serious?
1967 and the SCP-2901 Appalachian incursion in reality have however, public opinion strongly disagreed, and henceforth,
Out of all the myths I said,
SCP-2901
was
began to
I
appear
only said
at
Bigfoot
other
and Loch Ness
future
Monster, and
disaster
those two were
events.
mentioned.
This was the precursor of the precognitive scavenging animal-like behavior that is observed today. Efforts are to continue gradually introducing notions developed by the Foundation as to further SCP-2901's evolution into a more docile and manageable concept.
So if they can control all the
Internal
information,
counterintelligence.
it can become what they want it
Only
to be.
Foundation personnel with level 4
And then it can be
clearance
less
are
of a
permitted
threat.
to view this document. For all intents and purposes, All other personnel are to be included in actively contributing to SCP-2901's perceptual evolution. It is pertinent that this document be limited to no more than 50 persons.
Oh, well, I think this video has 236,000 views.
And that concludes today's lecture.
Mothman.
Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Mothman. I bet there's at least one person watching this video that has seen the Mothman statue in West Virginia. I was actually just in West Virginia.
A special thank you.
I guess it was 2 years ago now. No, last year. Oh, that was last year. It wasn't even a year ago.
Professor
wow.
Puffer, Ritalius.
I was in the middle of nowhere,
JK,
West Virginia, which is kind of everywhere.
Segnar, your local Foundation agent, Derivative, Gabriel Hawkins, Nate the Clown, Lost Boy.
Also, shout out to the patrons because, like, it's oh, dude. Right now, my patrons are carrying the channel. As January's real bad. It's so bad.
James Saba,
hopefully, things get better soon.
If you would like a special thank you at the end of each of my videos, and some other cool stuff as well, visit patreon.com.
Because I see a bunch of, like, massive YouTube channels talking about, you know, their financial struggles for, like, the last year or so, and I'm just like, I know exactly, like, and they don't even, like, talk about the last year or so, just, like, in the last, like, couple months or whatever, they talk about how, you know, life has been. I'm just like, yes, I can look at the analytics and see what the CPM is for, which is kind of for everybody, and, yeah, no, it's real bad. It's really, really bad. I'm like, yep, nope, I definitely see, what they're saying, but this was Mothman. 2901. Will the next one be Not a Deer? I'm not really sure. Patrons get all the videos there early. Could not do this if it was not for them. I read all your comments. Leave them down below. This was suggested in the comment section of the last SCP video, which was the chicken human thing, which was absolutely terrifying. But we had Mothman, and now I learned a little bit more about Mothman, which is awesome. I'm surprised he didn't mention the statue in West Virginia, or at least I don't think he did. Maybe I missed it. I don't think he did, though. But I do look forward to watching maybe Not a Deer next, because the Appalachian Mountains, that's my home. I live in North Carolina. I literally can see mountains from my house, which is kind of crazy because I don't live near the mountains. But I love this SCP. I love the Volgun's videos. I look forward to the next one. I hope to see you there. But until then, take care and cue the music.
We were playing as soldiers, making swords.